Finally, now we are about to talk about our favorite films of 2021, our top 5 movies that we consider the best. Again, this is all just opinions. If you agree, cool. If not, then,
Fuck you.
You do you.
That's the way it goes.
That's the way, sure. I mean, we're on the internet, man. Fuck it.
I have 2 pretty surprising movies actually on my list. We'll see, man. Like some surprises over here.
I mean, I'm curious, and I apologize for the weird setup I got going on here. I have a lot going on in the background, so that's why I changed the location. But this is just temporary for this shoot. But oh well. But yeah, would you like to begin?
Let's go.
Hello, and welcome to part 2 of the 16th episode of The Movie Buffs. I'm your host, Mansoor.
And I'm Yurka, and today we'll discuss our favorite 5 movies of the year.
Yes, with inclusion of honorable mentions.
And I have a lot of honorable mentions. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 honorable mentions.
Holy shit, I only have 2. Dude.
I'll just gloss through them. I won't even explain them. A couple of them, they're kind of big movies. Some of them were
a couple of them
So 2 movies that were like close to making my top 5, and then the rest are just some movies I would like to recommend as well, like from the past year that you might have not. Well, one movie like
may or may not have
exactly.
watched. Yeah.
So 2 movies that you that were just missed out were Last Night in Soho and Don't Look Up. I really enjoyed both of these movies. I also want to just, say Free Guy was a very good movie. I think, it was Disney's version of, what was it, Ready Player One, sort of.
And to be honest, it was probably even much better than Ready Player One.
Oh, no, I don't think it was better than Ready Player One, but it was its own thing. It was unique, and Ryan Reynolds is just, he's a great guy.
Ryan Reynolds.
A really great movie. Then a couple of, and then also Army of the Dead. From Zack Snyder. I think it's one of his better films.
I'm surprised it's not even in your top 5 list. I'm surprised it's just in your honorable mentions.
But that also was a great movie that I enjoyed. The R rating. Just I guess it could have had a bit more zombie stuff in it because it was kind of very slow. So that's like the only note.
Considering it was marketed as a zombie movie, but yeah.
But like the premise of heists in a zombie movie in Las Vegas, like that was perfect. And then 3 movies that you maybe not have seen is Cop Shop, Vacation Friends, and Mitchells versus the Machines. All 3 movies.
I've seen
very
2
good.
of the 3. I've seen 2 of the 3.
All 3 movies are actually very good. Didn't make my top 5, but just like movies I want to recommend. They're very enjoyable.
I understand.
And so they were surprising to me.
All right, fair enough.
What's your honorable mentions?
Yeah, my 2 honorable mentions obviously is The French Dispatch.
Mm-hmm.
Wes Anderson's newest movie. It's actually really, really good and probably like one of my favorites up there with Isle of Dogs and The Royal Tenenbaums. And funny enough, you'd be surprised, this is not even on my top 5 list. It just barely missed my top 5 list. Last Night in Soho.
I'm surprised. Because you were praising that movie a lot.
I loved it, but there was one indie horror movie that beat it out completely, and I'll tell you which ones they are.
Malignant?
There are 2 indie horror movies. No, not. I mean, Malignant was good in its own way, and I loved it because I love schlock, as we've discussed in that episode. But
Malignant could get like an honorable mention. It was like a pretty decent movie at the end.
I would. At the end of the day,
it was.
I
fun.
love
it was
it for
enjoyable.
what it was.
Yeah.
It was a lot of fun. I would put in my honorable mentions as a movie that
Let's go. Top 5. Go. You're number 5.
No, you're number 5.
All right, I'll go my number 5. It's a movie we didn't discuss. I mean, we sort of discussed, and I know you watched it, and I know we wanted to discuss it. So here's our opportunity. Last Duel, from Grandpa Ridley. I loved it, man. It was so fun. It was so enjoyable, man. Especially the setting. The only thing holding it back from getting up, because I loved the performances. The actors were phenomenal. the attention to detail, like in the free stories, is insane. Exactly. The set design, the audio, like I was using these headphones and like the audio was sensational, like especially like, you know, with the horses, the knives. I mean, knives of shit,
Everything.
swords, like knives. But
yeah, no, we're talking about ninjas, not knights here, buddy. Fucking shurikens.
but like all over, it was perfect. The only thing was like I guess it was like based on some kind of true events, so you're always again like limited to what you want to say or like what you can do in the story. But
I mean,
the story,
the aspect of how the story was told is just so fascinating.
it was,
like,
but
how
I
the
think the story itself could have been more intriguing. It was very simple, and especially being told 3 times, it got a little boring. Even though like all the aspects of filmmaking and the attention to detail, especially, and the acting was phenomenal, and I want to praise how actually good the final duel was. Like I was like, okay, let's see how the actual, because that's what you name it. It's the last duel, and the fight was phenomenal. Like I rarely get like really on the edge of my seat, and I was like, holy shit, like this is actually good. I didn't know who was gonna win. It was great, man. I loved it.
Yeah, not to spoil it for anyone, and for anyone who has not seen it, because again, it did bomb in box offices. Sadly,
so you should watch
like,
it.
We're
It's a
not
great
gonna.
movie.
You should watch it. We're not gonna spoil it for you. Like 100%, you should go watch it in theaters or on digital, whichever way that you can. It's
For
it's
me,
an experience.
it would be like a 8.5 out of 10. It was really good.
Oh.
Really damn good.
Okay, good. Funny enough, I have it on my list, but a little higher. But
Oh,
yes.
that's a spoiler. Go ahead. What's your number 5?
Okay, my number 5 is a little movie. I don't think you've heard of it. You might have, but it is, ironically, Nicolas Cage is in both of my number 5s. Number 5 worst and number 5 best.
What is it?
So this one, no, it was a whiplash. It was a complete 180 from, what was it called? Willy's Wonderland.
I thought you were
Pig.
gonna put like Willy's Wonderland in your top 5 and your worst 5 at the same time, because like that's
No,
the kind
no,
of
no.
movie that is.
No. It's Pig.
Oh, I've heard of it, but every time I forgot to watch it. But I heard a lot of good things about it. I know what like roughly what the premise is, and it sounds interesting.
It's very intriguing. It sounds like it's something that Nicolas Cage would Nicolas Cage up, but no, genuinely, it's one of his best performances. And even as simple and as odd as the story is, it's very depressing, but so fascinating. And again, like one of his best performances that I've seen probably since Adaptation. So
I will
yeah, no.
I know I generally say like, oh yeah, I'll check that out 100%. But this one I really want to check out because I heard it and
Yeah.
I have it on my list that I actually want to watch.
No, it's available, I think, on Hulu. Like if you have Hulu, you might be able to like watch it because I think it was available in a couple of theaters.
I'll get a Hulu free trial and just watch.
I can give you my account to watch
Perfect,
it. It's
man.
fine,
Perfect.
but like
I'm
yeah,
excited
no,
to
it
watch
only
it,
played in a couple
100%.
theaters. Yeah, sadly, it only played like in a couple theaters and a couple of like movie festivals, but otherwise dead silent. Barely to no reaction to it, or like barely anyone to no one discussing it. But it was really good. And yeah, no, that's my number 5. It's an 8.5 out of 10. So
So here comes. It will be a little, I guess, disappointing. Number 4, Spider-Man: No Way Home.
I wonder why.
What? It's my
I
number
get
4. It's my number 4. It was a
I
great
get
movie. We discussed it. A couple of flaws.
If you want to know the grade, if you want to know the rating, if you want to know everything,
Yep.
just we'll link the episode up probably in the eye icon or in the description down below. Check it out. Like if you want to get the full rundown in detail, because we talk about it for like 43 minutes. So yeah.
I would like this one should be my number 3, but the reason I have one movie that is on number 3 above it is because I was generally surprised by that movie, but we'll get to that next. What's your number 4?
All right, my number 4 actually is The Last Duel.
There we go. Not that
Yeah,
far
and
out.
The Last Duel, actually, funny enough, same rating, 8.5. It just not like it beat Pig. Like it's better than Pig. Pig is really good, but The Last Duel was better. So
Like
Yeah,
the perspectives, how they play around with they don't change the story, but they just change like the perspective, how someone either like says a story or how someone like sees a story from a certain point
Or
of
like
view.
how someone perceives
Yeah,
it, and how
yes.
they like, and how they try to explain the story, because like we're talking about one guy who plays the hero, actually one guy who thinks of himself as the hero, and then and then the girl who plays the victim.
Yeah.
So it's so fascinating.
I
It
well,
really
like
is.
once again, I think the story could have been a little more convoluted, but again, like it was, I guess,
a little more convoluted or a little less convoluted.
a little more like intriguing. The story itself, not the
Oh,
whole
okay.
the
Not
setup.
convoluted, but like more.
Sorry, yeah, my fault. But like the setup and everything was perfect. It was like the story itself was so basic, and telling it 3 times, like it was a little like, okay, here this will happen. Oh, that's interesting, but like, it was like everything else
You
filmmaking
feel
wise
like the
perfect,
concept
but it
kind
was
of
like
ran
just,
itself
that's the one
over.
thing. That's the only nitpick I have about the
Yeah.
film. But like again,
Okay, fair enough.
number 3, a little surprise here. I didn't even know this movie was coming out like at the start of the year.
Oh god.
It's a little film that shouldn't be here at all. Like it doesn't fit, but I was super surprised by it. It's really generic. Does all the classical stereotypical stuff. Nobody. But I was super surprised. I had so much fun with the movie.
I'm not surprised. I am really not surprised that it is your number 3.
It's like it's a cheap version of John Wick, but it has its own like unique stuff. It combines the stereotypical Russian villain, the slow motion action, this guy who has a secret. They do like a Home Alone kind of thing. The brother ex machina at the end, the guy on the radio who just shows up. I don't care. This movie was really fun. Like I don't care what it does. Like it was enjoyable, and I didn't know it was even coming out at the start of the year.
Yeah, no. Like, it took something so simple yet so overused and managed to create, like, a very fresh, not a fresh take, but, like, it turned it on its head and created something really good out of it, too. With, like, producing as good to even, like, better quality in some cases than John Wick. Or, like, the John Wick series. So that's what really makes it stand out more. Because a lot of people, when they first heard of it, they were like, oh, is this like another John Wick ripoff? No, it isn't. Like, in concept, sure, but definitely not in execution. Definitely not, like, with where the story goes, with, like, how it pulls itself out of that. And, like, how it shows itself, how it presents itself.
And
overall.
with a heavy heart, I was thinking a lot about it, but this movie gets the bus fight of the year.
The best fight of the year?
No, but the best bus fight of the year.
The best bus fight? Oh, you're knocking out Shang-Chi?
Like in terms of bus fights, that is. So in terms of just the bus fight, the bus fight over here is just sensational. Like that was.
All right, let's add it on top. Ding, 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 ding. The winner of 2021's best bus fight of the year.
Like a special award.
All right, well,
What's your number 3?
my number 3 is a complete twist and turn and turnover, and I think you heard of it, but I'm 100% sure you did not watch it either way. The next 2 movies are just going to be indie movies, and I'm not sure if anyone has heard of them or watched them, or at least heard of them and not watched them, but my number 3, complete fucking opposite, is The Green Knight.
I've heard of it, and I did watch it, and I'm mixed on the movie. Visual wise, I have a little similar feeling to Dune, like my personal feeling, like visuals and everything, perfect. Story acting, it's very slow. I don't know, but it's like visual wise, like that's the one thing I really have to say. Like the visuals are perfect.
So I'm not gonna spoil it. I'm gonna allow whoever is curious to watch it. But like, all I'm gonna say is that I love that it takes such a classic like Arthurian story and turns it really on its head to like the perspective of expectation of masculinity and the expectation of the man always being the hero and be thrown into the hero role, and like how it psychologically and physically takes a toll on someone who's expected of great things but cannot even achieve those things. And it kind of like it reflects a lot of It reflects a lot of aspects within. Not to sound like a douche, but it reflects a lot of like aspects within society and like how we perceive the role of man and how we perceive the role of a hero and how we perceive the role of masculinity. Like as relevant as it is in the movie, as relevant as it is now in real life. So that's what I like. That's what I got out of it. I'm sure you're like, oh, okay, looks gorgeous, but like visuals, but like everything else. So
that was kind of my personal thing, and like, yeah, like similar to Dune for me
cool.
personally.
Yeah, I understand. It's cool. Like don't worry about it. Again, different opinions, different backgrounds, different perspectives. Doesn't matter.
Like
we love movies.
Me and A24, man. Like that's not a relationship that's good so far. Like of course, if they want to make a movie with me, 100% I'm open. But like, as of now,
hey, do you hear that, A24? Wink, wink. CB
I
Films
wish.
X A24. Wink, wink.
I wish. I wish.
Dude, that is the fucking dream, honestly. You
All right.
and me both, man. All right,
So-
number 2.
My number 2 is a movie that I almost forgot came out last year, and I'm super ashamed. And only there's a show Peacemaker right now that's airing that reminded me of it. The Suicide Squad. What a tremendous movie.
Okay. I completely understand.
Not a perfect movie by any chance. Like it was very slow in the second act, and I really think that there could have been a better third act. But the R rating, the humor, the characters, James Gunn is a fucking god. Like he's amazing, and he's proving it once again on Peacemaker. Like the stories that he comes up with, like the characters that he manages to bring in, he does such a great job. Like this is like a James Gunn award. Like what a great guy.
Well, for me, what I'd say is that it's the best revitalization and retcon of any movie ever. Like considering what the Suicide Squad was originally versus what it is now, after seeing this movie, you're like, holy shit, you just turned rusted metal to gold. Like,
I mean,
it was...
I was someone who liked a lot of aspects of the original Suicide Squad, but like there are so many like,
but
it's
there
a
were
lot of BS
so
over
many
here.
issues.
Over
Yeah.
here, you have like some issues, but overall, you just have a blast. Because I watched this movie like so many times already. I just put it on in the background because like the jokes are there, like the fights, and like the amazing scene with Idris Elba and John Cena just killing these villagers. That's amazing, and the R rating, like this is legitimately a better Mortal Kombat movie than Mortal Kombat.
At this point, anything is a better Mortal Kombat movie than Mortal Kombat.
Yeah.
Fucking Caillou is more Mortal Kombat than Mortal Kombat.
Fucking, I had like wait, Free Guy's a better Mortal Kombat movie than Mortal Kombat.
Yeah, exactly. So,
You get the point.
Alright.
Your number 2.
yeah, my number 2 is I don't think you've heard of it. I don't think you've watched it. It is a indie horror film that came out around, let's say, it came out like middle of the year, 2021. But it shocked me, it surprised me, and it's probably now like one of my favorite A24 horror films. And it's by a brand new director, brand new writer, fresh everything. It's called Saint Maud.
I haven't watched that. I haven't heard of that. So go ahead, talk. I have
Okay.
no idea.
All right. Well, so Saint Maud is like this story about the. I'm not gonna spoil it, but like I'm just gonna give a baseline idea. It's a very dark take on trauma, religion, ill perspective, mental illness, and like how it can really fuck up and twist up your own idea of self-righteousness and like how it just affects you. So like it has everything I like there. It has a dark take on religion, it has a dark take on mental health. It's informational, it's disturbing as fuck, but it is so good, and that ending, ugh. It's good. It's really fucking good. It's never slow, it's very intriguing, and it really gets under your skin. Like, it manages to, like, put you in the perspective of this nun who believes that she is all pure, all perfect, all everything, when in fact, she's just judgmental, like oppressive, and all that stuff. Like it's fascinating. Like I'm not gonna try and spoil it. I'm not gonna say anything else about it, but I highly, highly, highly recommend that you check it out at least once. It's
I will check
a
out the
completely
trailer,
different
and based on the trailer, I will see if I check it out.
You know the trailers don't
That's the
always
thing I can
reflect the
promise.
movie.
That's
something you can
very true. That's very true. That's very true. But still, like that's the only thing I could promise you. No more
All right.
promises.
Well, I mean, yeah, but like, okay, if the trailer intrigues you enough, honestly,
Of course.
like, check it out. It's
100%.
something worth checking out at some point or another. And I know you're just saying 100%. I know you. But okay, so that one is a 9 out of 10 actually. So
Oh, that's pretty high.
yeah.
I mean, I forgot
yeah.
I forgot to say the movies before. I would give Nobody like a I would give Nobody like a 7.5 out of 10, but it's just the aspect of I didn't even know it was coming out, and just like I had fun with it. Filmmaking wise, stereotypical wise, that's why I kind of bring down the score. But that's the reason why I put it on my personal list, that high. And the Suicide
Yeah,
Squad,
fair
I would
enough.
give like a 8 out of 10 as well. Very, very
All
good.
right, fair enough. So-
Again, like the second act and the last fight. But my number one is a movie you could probably.
Wait. Can I give my 2 scores because I didn't give my
Oh, yeah,
two, my
go ahead,
score
sorry.
for Green Knight and
Go
Saint
ahead.
Maud. So, Green Knight is a 9 out of 10 and Saint Maud is a 9 out of 10. They were really close neck at neck, but Saint Maud just beat the Green Knight. So, yeah. Anyways,
I think you can guess my number one.
number 1.
I think you can guess it. You know.
Say it.
Go ahead. Go ahead, guess.
No. Say it.
Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings.
Of fucking course. I was so ready to say it, but I'm like, I might be wrong. Like, there is a 5% chance that I might be wrong, but 95%, I knew you were going to say this. I knew it.
So-
like, oh my god.
Based on the trailers, like, the martial arts and everything, I was thinking this movie will be good. It will be something for me. So that's like the expectations I had heading into this. I had best martial arts MCU movie expectations going into Shang-Chi. But the story was good. The characters were very likable. Great acting. And then like the third act is something that I really, really personally like. We have a whole video on that, and
Yeah.
I watched that movie again like a lot of times again. It's not perfect again, but with the story I think that they chose, I think they couldn't have done anything much better, because like the villain
enough.
situation is perfect. I think Simu Liu as Shang-Chi is great because his character again, like that's something that they don't do much in the MCU, is that like he's conflicted. He has like blood on his hands. He killed someone, and like he has to live with that. And that's something that I wish they did with Black Widow, but they retcon that immediately after they like kind of say it. But in Shang-Chi, even though they don't show it necessarily, they tell you like, I killed a man, I have to live with it. I had to do it, and that's like he has to live with that now. So there's a lot of like great ideas, good execution. I really personally love the visuals. The Ten Rings look great. So for me, you could have maybe chosen, but I really don't know what you could have done with the story. For me, it's a, like I said, like on that review, 9 out of 10, perfect, almost perfect movie, and the best MCU movie this year, second best boss fight of the year.
Fair enough. All right, now my number 1.
Oh, yeah,
You might
yeah,
know this.
I did say 9 out of 10, so yeah. Go ahead, sorry.
You know this.
What's your number 1? I actually have
You
no
know
idea.
this?
I actually have no
Really?
idea. Because
We discussed this in an episode.
House of Gucci?
Perfect Blue. I'm kidding.
I was like, what? Wait.
I mean, if Perfect Blue came out this year, I'd be like babbling on about it for the next
a version
10 to
of
15
Perfect Blue
minutes.
did come out. It's called Last Night in Soho.
Exactly. But I'm talking about the original. The original that
I know,
was
I
actually
know,
a
I
10 out
know.
of 10. But my number 1 is Dune.
Of course.
Best movie for me this year.
Of course, of course, of course.
I mean, I'm not gonna continue to gush about it. I gushed about it enough during our review. You know, we're gonna leave a link to that. You know, check the eye icon or the description down below for that. But yeah, just the visuals, the story, the world, everything to me was just, it was breathtaking for me personally, especially as someone who's a fan of the books and somebody who was a fan of like the entire idea and the concept and everything. So the fact that like one of my favorite directors working today, Denis Villeneuve, was the guy who was going to, you know, like take over this behemoth of a story was so surprising that I was happy, but I was genuinely terrified to see what might happen, because I was like, oh god, this may be like for the first time, this may be a bad Denis Villeneuve movie, because like, how is he gonna pull all this concept off? How is he gonna pull all the story off and everything? But he pulls it off. Like, at least for me, he did a fucking fantastic job with everything that he was given, with the cast, with the story, with the visual effects, with the cinematography, with everything. So I was very, very happy how that turned out.
Timothée
And
Chalamet's
I cannot wait till part
teenage
2.
boy face. I'm kidding. I'll leave it alone. I'll leave it alone. We have an episode on that. The only thing I'll give you now is we have a sequel confirmed, so you have bonus for points for that. So we have, and I heard that Denis Villeneuve wants to do actually a third one as well, so it might be like 3 parts. And once you kind of like watch it in like 1, 2, 3, it might improve part 1. So we'll see once it's complete. For me personally.
I mean, I can understand why the cut down of the experience itself may feel like as if it took away from it. I can completely understand why. And I like agree in many cases. And like I can tell you, like, genuinely, the part that ruined it for me a little bit was the fact that it cut off so abruptly and that it wanted to continue on in the next part. But otherwise, I feel like at least with cutting it up into parts, it's able to really get into the story and get into the meat of what's going on, and like be able to tell the story fully, because we're talking about like a book that's this fucking thick. So yeah.
Well, yeah, that's that. This actually went very quickly. I guess it's just way more fun and, you know, quick to talk about movies that you like as opposed to movies
than
that,
it is actually
just
the movies that you hate.
And once again,
I mean,
I apologize. I want to rephrase my phrase from last video. I kind of cooled down. I don't want death for anyone who made Mortal Kombat. But that doesn't change the fact they still deserve a death sentence. A little lighter.
Yeah, they just deserve to go to the gulag. They don't deserve a death sentence. They just deserve the gulag. They fight it out. If they die, they die. But like,
yeah, I got a little heated last time. So, but still, like
little.
Yeah. Mortal Kombat.
Well, I mean,
man, Mortal Kombat.
I mean, honestly, you're pretty much like mirroring the same reaction that a lot of people have had towards the movie. So like, I don't blame you.
Yeah.
I understand, but like at the end of the day, and especially because like now I can like, I feel like also the reason why this episode was so short was because we tried our best to not spoil the movies and are actually trying to recommend it for people to watch it. So like, if we went into full spoilers,
and a lot of
this
these
movie
movies
would have been
are like movies that we had already discussed, like, you know,
exactly.
Last Night in Soho. No Way Home.
Last Night in Soho, No Way Home, Dune, Shang-Chi. So, yeah.
It was cut down. But, yeah, it was a fun episode, man.
It was, actually. I look forward to any further movies that we're going to be watching this year, especially since we have our, you know, most anticipated movies of 2021 list. Again, linked, if you want to check that out, too. But, yeah, that's it for today. Would you like to add anything?
Nothing more. You can close.
All right, well, guys, thank you so much for watching. Look forward to another episode coming really soon. We're going to see what we'll be able to actually catch in theaters soon enough, what we'll be able to both, you know, watch, enjoy, and even discuss, or watch, hate, and discuss. But otherwise, please leave a like. Comment down below if you have any recommendations, or even list your own top 5 movies that you'd want to recommend to us that we'd watch that we might have missed. And otherwise, yeah, subscribe so then you can actually catch more of our videos. But that's all. Peace.
See ya.